aphrodisiacs and pheromone perfumes that whisper yes. And oh, don't forget the THC slushies, flower, 7-0 kratom, and sweet edible treats that hit just right. Grab your partner or come solo and see the all-new Tallulah Love Shop at 1530 Mahan Drive. More love, more fun, always at Tallulah.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Tish, and I want to personally invite you to join us each and every weekday morning right here on Real Talk 93.3 for the Greg Tish Show. We have the best guests in Tallahassee. We play the funnest games like Give Me a Second, the movie clip game, and everybody loves a food segment every weekday morning at 6:45. So start your day with Tallahassee's morning show, the Greg Tish Show, right here on Real Talk 93.3.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV begins right now. And before we get started, and I say hello to Ira and Corey, I do want to say Happy Veterans Day to all those who served and are currently serving. We appreciate you very much. Thanks for that. And now I say hello, Ira. Hello, Corey.
Hey, Jeff. How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you both. Yay, sausage! And we're off and running.
So Ben last week did not have a promo code after the Wake Forest win. So he issued a Register Sausage, officially issued an apology, a formal apology on behalf of
that's
Ben.
why they lost to Clemson. Can't get any momentum going.
Yeah. So he did say that I think he said, so they forgot about the promo code because he had some issue at the stadium. And I think he was going to do a promo code for Clemson, and he did hashtag in the streak, but it looks like then we never got a promo code because they lost.
What a wonderful ad read this is.
I'm just giving you an update.
So they didn't end the streak, Corey. You know, what is he supposed to do?
Just
basically that was a minute of telling people there's no promo code. Sorry.
There is no promo code, but you shouldn't need a promo code, people.
You don't need a promo code. It's good enough.
Is so good.
I had the baby links this morning.
Did you?
For breakfast. I tend to do that these days.
You get some sausage up in you early.
Early, buddy. Yeah. Get the day started right. Get the day started right. Yeah.
Register Sausage is available in a growing footprint in the Southeast, Florida, huge swaths of Florida. It started over in the Panhandle.
Oh, yeah.
Blanketed now
it's
across
like a tidal wave.
North Central Florida, going down towards Tampa and Orlando, a little bit, maybe a couple of locations down closer to South Florida, up into the Carolinas, Atlanta. Go to your local grocery store. If they don't have Register Sausage, if they've got one of these other imposters, ask them to get registers. And if they don't, then you got to take matters in your own hands.
Right.
I mean, at some point, you've got to make a stand. If you're not gonna stand for something,
you stand for nothing.
Something like that.
Or you fall for anything.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Or if you go to registermeats.com, you can have it delivered. And maybe at one point this football team will win a game. You think if there's a new coaching staff hired, maybe then we'll get a promo code?
Oh my goodness.
Jimbo, promo code Jimbo.
Free sausage for everybody. We got a new coach. Yeah, let's go. Let's celebrate on the streets. Sausage thrown into the air.
Wouldn't that be something?
It's like the end of wartime.
It might just rain sausage.
Like, look at all this. It's happening. Whew. Got basketball tonight, boys. Florida State, Florida. Let's get it on.
Big time.
Let's go.
Good early season test for Luke's crew.
No idea what to expect in that game.
I would expect a loss.
Except a lot of three-pointers.
Yeah, but they'll take a lot of threes.
Do you know what Florida, I looked this up. Do you know what Florida, the over-under is for their points tonight?
88.
98.5.
Okay, I was close.
98.5.
Yeah.
When was the last time a college basketball team, just for one, had an over-under of 98.5?
It's pretty
Luke's playing a different style, gang.
Hey.
He's playing a different style.
Go back. Actually, that is interesting. I'd like to go back last year to see if Alabama had a few of those.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because they play like that, too. Yeah, but
98.5
is crazy. So, anyway, I'd bet the over on all of it. It's going to be, and Florida State's an 18.5-point underdog, which is a little bit surprising, but maybe not. I
don't know. That's the defending national champions.
Well, they don't have what's his name.
They
don't know what's his name. They're coming. They don't. They don't know what they don't know what to expect. It's a different style of play. Could take them by surprise.
Anything stand out? We talked. Ira and I had a chance to talk yesterday on the Jeff Cameron show a little bit about Mike Norvell.
I listened to it. It was it was well done. He just sounded different. Ira did.
Because he was there in person.
Yeah, I noticed.
The stadium. Yeah,
did y'all talk about it when you got on? About the different sound, and you were in it was like a different element.
No.
Because usually it seems like a phoner.
It was a phoner still.
Oh,
but it sounded better than
it did. I know.
It sounded really clear. You have a new mic or something.
No, I think it was the Wi-Fi in the phone. But anyway,
it sounded great, Ira.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I did. It sounded great. I just want you to know.
We did talk about it, and I thought, there's probably what percentage of people you think there's probably. I mean, it's probably less than like 2%, maybe 1% less, that only ever see my image when I'm on your show, and it's my picture from 2012.
It's a small percentage. Yeah, it's a small percentage.
Like they don't see me any other way.
They've seen you many times now.
It's weird if they're watching his show, but not the algorithm doesn't have the Warchant rap pop up or something.
And the only time you see me is they
would be, oh my God, this season is killing them. It's like the presidency.
Yeah,
you've aged 40 years.
What happened to Ira? He's devastated by these losses.
Jet black hair.
Years.
You know what? You'd be going, it's 2 years worth of losses, guys. It's just killing me. It's just bringing me down. I survived last year. I can't do this anymore.
So I heard your take a little bit on Wake Up Warchant. And I would disagree. I think you were saying you think.
Surprise.
Well, you were saying you think that he believes he's coming back. And I don't know that he believes
what then back. Why
he has to say what he's saying.
No. Nobody has to say what he said.
I think he got carried away.
He went off the rails. Yeah. Like he
sounded like a stream of consciousness.
And I was telling somebody the point you made where I listened to that segment that made sense was because I noticed it too. Like when he says, I think this program is set up, I'm like, okay, he's handing it off. He's got it in a better place than he found it. That's and then he started talking about, we're going to win championships again. I know that pisses people off, but they'll be celebrating with us when we're hoisting the trophy. I'm like, man, that would be so foolish. I guess it doesn't matter. You get fired, who cares? But it's not like anybody cares that much about the receipts. But if he's going to be fired in 2 weeks, he's saying that stuff just seemed outlandish.
Well, the thing is, I just don't.
It was so aggressive.
One thing I do wonder is because his post-game press conferences, the last 2 losses
have been morbid.
Yeah, the one at Stanford and then the one this past Saturday. I thought the one at Stanford was really bad, and then the one this past Saturday was, I think even worse.
I think he rightfully thought he should be fired after losing to Stanford.
Right, and so I wonder if somebody said to him, "Look, man, as long as you're still the head coach, you need to act like the head coach." And maybe he kind of got carried away in that moment. I don't know, but no, I can just tell you
there's no way
that
he's been told he's leaving. There's no way he's been told he's leaving.
I have no idea whether about that, but I don't.
He wouldn't act like that.
But there's no way he's been reassured. He's saying
100%.
There's a lot of people in the football offices that are very concerned that they're going to be out of work. Yeah. So they would know. He would let them know if you've been assured you're coming back. You would let your staff know so that they keep working.
You'd let
hard.
Recruits know.
Right.
But I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying I think he's been told he's coming back. I'm just saying he hasn't been told he hasn't been coming. He's not coming back.
And if that's true, then that's how you got to operate.
But because that was crazy. That was, I shouldn't say crazy. It was it was entertaining and interesting and surprising. And I've never seen a coach like that, albeit I haven't been in a lot of these scenarios where a coach was so over the top about we're going to fix this. We're fixing this. Not I hope it gets fixed or next year.
Do you think
he was so brazen?
I do wonder, like, how was Brian Kelly at the press conference before he got fired? The few days before.
I don't know.
I'm sure James Franklin, I would think, you're never going to act like, I really hope that things work out. I just get that.
It was carried away to the nth degree.
It got worse as he went on. I think it was
not worse. It got more inspirational.
I think he took more ownership as it went on and distanced himself from the origins of the first comment. I've said this a lot on the air. I think that coach availabilities when things are going really poorly don't reflect well on anybody involved. It's not like we can pepper him with, vitriolic questions. Corey, I thought your question was good because it was broad-based and it would allow him to go on a run. Which
in 6 minutes, baby, 1,200 words.
Yeah, it allowed him to just go ahead and go wherever he was going to go. But, people want you to stab the guy who's failing them. And you can't do that. It's not our job to start fights. And then secondly, the coach is in a terrible position. I mean, he knows they're losing games. He's there authoring these losses every week. He knows it's well below the standard. Short of him coming in there and saying, I have failed, I deserve to be fired, nobody's going to be happy with an answer that he gives as to the hows and whys of losing.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. They just know that you're losing. And at this point, they've lost so many different ways, and they lose so often.
But so different. Who do you blame? Like it's
I think I know who to blame.
No, but I mean, like, what side of the ball, what player? Like, it just spread around so much that it's like it's not like you can just make a quick, easy determination.
At this point, you're laying it at the feet of the guy who's off.
And that's what you have to do at that moment, because you can't. There is no one flaw that you're pointing to. It is the program's not performing. You know, and Tom and I on the Smash Line last night actually talked a little bit about the game, and that was kind of interesting. Because it was an interesting game. If it wasn't for, it
was an annoying game to me.
Well,
but
there were some interesting aspects to it that if you think about it. But the problem is you can't really think about it because all we want to think about is
the big picture.
Who's going to be the next head coach?
Yeah. Oh, so that's the problem. Like I did that the next morning too. I went back and watched. I'm like, well, I have it open there. You got to catch that. That's a terrible throw. That's a great play call. Didn't work out. That's a penalty. God, at the worst time. There's a turnover inside the red zone again. Go figure.
Well, then,
it's
Tony
so
White,
frustrating.
Tony White brought up the Mekhi Danzy blocked punt that never was, and it's like, yeah, man, there's so many. That game could have been a blowout.
Yeah,
and it's just
but the one he didn't block, they still got the ball to 35, and then they got the ball to the 8.
But they may have scored.
Yeah, well, if your quarterback cuts back, you might score instead of running out of bounds. There's a lot of reasons they lost that game, but it wasn't like just speaking specifically about the game itself. It's like the Giants just fired what's his name,
Daboll.
Well, he deserved to be fired. He also kicked a field goal on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line in the third quarter. I don't know that anybody's done that in the NFL in 25 years, since like Dan Reeves was a coach. So I would have, after that game, I feel like I would have peppered him with, like, what were you thinking? Like, what? Even if you don't get it, they have the ball at the 1. It makes no sense analytically to kick a field goal from the 1-yard line. And you lost by 4 points, by the way, and now you're out of a job. It wasn't like Norvell did anything in the game Saturday night that was like, what are you doing, coach? That's just a stupid decision. Not only is he not even calling plays anymore, but it's like it's the piling on of just the losses and the way they do it.
Some people saying on our message boards and on Twitter, you can't blame this on the coaches because the players drop the passes. It's like, no, man, that's not when you've lost as many games as they've lost.
That game probably isn't on the coaches. That doesn't excuse the other 13 that have happened in the last 2 years.
Well, when players don't perform, and that's not performing, right? You don't execute the plays that are there for you to be made. You have to get at the root of why that is. And when they don't perform over the course of many games, then it easily can be brought back to the head coach. What are you not doing
that
allows them to not perform? And while there's nothing in practice that he's doing that would cause Pittman to drop that ball, it's a symptom of a larger issue. And look, at the end of the day, rightfully, people are going to say, I don't really care. They just always lose.
Right. Close games.
I don't care. If it's a road game, they're going to lose. If it's an ACC game, they're likely going to lose. It may look different every week. It may be a player here or a play there. It doesn't really matter. They're just going to continue to lose.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Here's the question, though. And this is why everybody's tuning in, gang. And this is why everybody's, if you're not signed up to Warchant, be signed up to Warchant, because there probably will be a coaching search coming up soon.
I would hope that's happening currently.
There is a possibility they're going to win this Saturday night.
Well,
they're
you would think
2-touchdown favorite.
They should.
NC State and Florida aren't incredible. I know they're road games.
Yeah.
I know they're road games, but they are due to play well on the road at some point.
Are they? Is that how it works?
The law of averages, gang.
Due.
You can't. They're overdue.
You think Boston College is due to play well too, Corey?
Well, no, but Boston College sucks. Florida State does not suck. They just don't play well on the road. It might click. And I know y'all can laugh, but it could happen. They could win a game on the road. They could win the next 2 games on the road, and then he's 7-5 after 2-10.
Yeah, I'd fire him.
I know you would. We know that. You're on record. Will he be fired at 7-5?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know how we would know.
Yeah, because it's not as black and white as he's gone. There's 3 games where if they win and look kind of decent doing it, you're 7-5 going to a bowl, and that makes you 8-5. Well, gosh darn, you went from 2 wins to 8 wins. In 4 of your losses, you could have won. He might be back.
First of all, two things. One is I would argue.
Don't say they're not going to beat NC State because they are going to hammer the Wolfpack.
Number one, I would say it would have to be an unbelievable turnaround because they're not close. Like, I don't believe they're close.
Close to what?
To being good enough to win against anybody on the road, let alone NC State.
Well, maybe. I mean,
they've scored 23 points in their last two road games against Stanford.
Did you not hear Gus and Norvell? They're figuring out what's going on the road. So, it's 2 in a row now. They figured out what's going on the road, and they're going to fix it.
So they're not close so it would have to be like a huge jump at a time when you're late in the season, players are hurt, they've been beaten down. They don't, it's just been a rough season. Coaches, I'm sure there are coaches in this program, in this staff and support staff who are starting to think about their futures, where they're going to be next year, because they're all concerned they're about to get fired. To turn it around in this moment, maybe Mike's speech yesterday is what
we're not
really
asking them to beat Georgia. And my point is, like,
it's basically
you're speaking in reality.
They haven't won a road game in 2 years.
Yeah, you're speaking in reality. I'm speaking hypothetically. That it isn't out of the realm. Like, it wasn't like they were blown off the field at Clemson. If Pittman catches the ball, if this happens, if that happens, They might win that game. If they don't make those mistakes in Raleigh, they could win that game. But to what end? And they definitely could beat Florida. But what is that good for the program or bad for the program? And it's not outlandish. They are not going to be 30-point underdogs in either one of those games. So it's not outlandish to think they could actually win a game on the road.
Yeah, we'll see. I think part of it will.
But they might lose this weekend, and it's a moot point.
What would go into? I like that you're just really locking in with the moot
it's
point.
It's moot, baby. It's a Cal's opinion. Doesn't mean anything.
What we don't know, the information we don't have, because first of all, we're not at practice, and second of all, we're not in the program, is we don't know what the situation is inside the program right now. Like, just in terms of the chemistry, just in terms of how guys are handling this. The 3 or 4 players did speak out a couple weeks ago after the Wake Forest game and said they support Mike Norvell. I didn't think it was a full-throated voice of support. It felt more to me like, hey, could you guys say some things in my opinion.
But you're not saying you think Norvell told them
No.
Yeah.
I think maybe somebody in the staff is just like, hey, it would be good if you guys would support your head coach. And they did, and I'll give them credit for that. I'm not saying they don't believe it. I didn't feel – again, when you watch them play, I don't feel like they play with the conviction of a team where it's like, oh, we've got to go win it for Mike Norvell. Like, we believe so much in coach, and we have to. You don't see that. So to me, I don't see any signs of it turning around. Who knows? Maybe beating Virginia Tech will be the light the fuse that they need. But I don't see it. So I don't really want to entertain that, because once you entertain that, then the conversation becomes about, oh, well, Mike Norvell may be back next year. And I think that's a slim chance.
I don't think he's I don't think he's just done. Period. Yeah, we are all under the premise that he's going to lose these road games and then he's not coming back. Right. But that's not a definite. It's not a certainty. It's a probability.
Even if
it's not a certainty.
Even if they somehow won these games, I think it's up to the administration to really look at whether or not this thing is going in the right direction. What makes you believe that next year is going to be a step towards anything close to
were you not watching you were in the room when he was giving that speech. Yeah. He told you he's going to fix it. They're on their way to fixing it. They're going to hoist the trophy again. They could just go the 23, go back and get the 23 one and hoist that one.
They have 2 legitimate wins this year.
What do you think the percentage is of?
They have 3 legitimate wins over the last 2 years.
If you assume that his premise is correct, and say it is, that if you won out these last 3 games, you finish 7-5, there's a scenario where they decide, you know what, we don't want to spend the money, let's keep him. What percentage chance do you think that is? Looking at this team, they've got to win 2 more road games. What do you think the percent chances are?
20%. The reason I say it is because it's not like last year's team. Obviously, last year's team had no chance in any of those games. This team does compete, and they're in close games. The law of averages tells you maybe a ball will bounce your way. Maybe Tommy recovers a fumble. Maybe you're not just destined to lose because you're losers. That this team has shown it can win and beat good teams. I know it hasn't shown it on the road, and I don't expect them to win on the road. And I certainly would never bet for Florida State to win on the road. But I'm saying it's not outlandish. They're not going to be 30-point underdogs. It can happen. NC State isn't unbeatable in that place. Neither is Florida, clearly. So it's not like that's out of the realm. I'm not saying they're going to go beat Georgia and Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks.
I'd say, for the record, just my opinion, I don't care if he wins out. He should be fired as soon as they decide to make that move
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the end of the year. There's no reason for him to come back.
I don't think
There's
that either.
zero reason for him to come back other than the money.
Yeah. That's a big one, though.
This program's not moving in the right direction. We all know it. We all have eyes.
You guys
We
are
all see
crazy.
it.
They go from 2 wins to 8, and you're saying they've already doubled their win total, gang.
They're not going to go.
If they double their win total next year,
8 wins.
I mean, hey, I was at that game in Death Valley. That's 2 good teams going at it.
No,
that's the thing. That Clemson team stinks.
Terrible. And they wanted you to take
there
the
to
game.
be beaten.
Wanted
and
you to take the
do it.
game. You couldn't do it. And you know what's worse for me is I knew they wouldn't. They wouldn't. There's a lot. Stanford's terrible.
According to FPI, Florida State had a 54% chance to win that game.
Does he have to be on the show?
No. I say on the bottom line scroll, it said Florida State 54% chance to win, but FPI. I'm like, are y'all high? It's a road game. Why would they have ever been?
Because
Clemson
FPI.
Yeah.
Still using that FPI.
Not as much as Florida State on the road.
Seminole headlines. 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
With Nissan Murano and Kicks tops in the SUV categories, and both Sentra and Altima winners amongst sedans. For true quality and reliability, look no further than Kraft Nissan.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Facing Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee.
Parker Services, Compass just a call away. 222-7722. AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722. Parker Services, Compass just a call away. Parker Services, Compass just a call away.
Fall is here, and that means it's time to make sure your home is ready for the season ahead. At Parker Services AC and Electrical, a peak performance membership keeps your comfort systems running at their best year-round. Members enjoy priority scheduling, exclusive discounts, and seasonal tune-ups that help identify small problems before they turn into big repairs. Don't wait until your heater has issues. Call Parker Services today and ask about peak performance membership.
Parker Services, Compass just a call away.
License number CMC 050334, EC 130121440.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Gremlin's in the system, folks. Don't know what to tell you. Hang in there with us on that. I did not.
Hey, I've got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think cop cars have horns that you can honk at a person?
I would assume so.
I would think so.
I was at a red light today. The guy was in the left turn lane. Cop was right behind him. And it turned green arrow. And the guy was just sitting there not moving.
Probably on his phone.
And 100%. And the cop car, after about 5 seconds, turned his
lights on.
No, not his lights, the siren.
Right.
But he never honked. He just turned the siren on. And the guy looked up and then turned and went. And then the guy turned his siren off and went about his day. Thought that was interesting. It's like he didn't honk at him. He just turned his siren on, which I guess is more impactful than a honk, a little baby
get my
honk.
attention more than a honk.
Yeah.
Startled the hell out of you.
Yeah, I thought the guy thought he was getting pulled over, which he should have because it was ridiculous. He was sitting at a light for 6 seconds.
Got great empathy for Florida State fans right now because we have no choice but to have the vetting and the airing of the grievances on a regular basis now. And it's like, I don't think there's a scenario, to Corey's point, if you won out, and I don't think there's a scenario if you lose out, whatever. Until they announce whoever the next coach is going to be, nobody's going to be excited about where this program's at. And, nobody knows when that's going to be, save for the one released statement, which was that they'll evaluate it at the end of the year. And so there's if you're hopeful that you're going to find out something sooner than that, you might.
It's going to take a bad loss Saturday, probably.
But you don't know it. And so you're kind of just left in limbo. And I was saying this yesterday, that feeling of being in limbo is terrible. I'd rather know that something's, a difficult task or something that you have to get past, but you have a plan of attack. When you don't have that, and fans don't, they may behind the scenes, Ira, they may have this all worked out, but nobody knows what that is. And so you feel helpless. And it's a place that causes consternation and a lot of aggravation. And certainly people are, at this point, just kind of bereft of hope.
Well, that's why I wrote what I wrote, was that just because we don't see it and just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean nothing's happening. Because I do think that it's easy for people to fan the flames by saying, oh, well, they're just not doing anything. They're oblivious to this. They don't know what's happening. It's like, come on, man. They just sued the conference. They're built a $250 million expansion. They built a $140 million football facility. Football matters. They care. They want to get it right. They're going to get it right, or they're going to try to get it right. But that doesn't mean firing somebody is definitely the right answer. And I'm not saying that it is or it isn't right now in terms of making a change mid-season versus waiting until later. I could see a scenario where if you either lose this game, and it's no guarantee you win this game, you lose this game or you lose the NC State game. I could see maybe announcing that this is going to be the end of his tenure.
Best case scenario, right?
He's going to coach the
He gets
Florida
to coach
game.
the Florida game. He can beat Florida at Florida, plant the flag in the middle of that field, and get carried out on the shoulders.
I think the most likely scenario to me, just like Ron Zook did at this stadium.
I know.
20 years
Return
ago,
the favor.
I could definitely see that. To me, if I had to pick the most likely scenario, is it gets announced before the Florida game.
Because you're assuming they're going to lose. For some reason, you're assuming they're going to lose in Raleigh.
It's weird. I think they might lose one of these next two games.
That's crazy.
I'm not seeing the two-game ACC win streak. I'm not seeing anywhere a road win right now. But so now you've got those. That's the way I would see it playing out. But we'll see. Can
we do a pick me up though? Because this is
you did a good job of bringing us down.
Yeah, I know, but that was my fault.
That was
my fault. Well, I was just saying there isn't. I mean, it's not unheard of that they would win these 3 games. It's not impossible, I should say. It's improbable, but not impossible. But what's bothered me the most over the last month, really the last 12 months, is people poor mouthing Florida State, the program, so much as if. Right, I saw on the message board somebody had Florida State as like the 4th or 5th best job available if it became available. I'm like, what are y'all? People are just idiots. I don't mean idiots. That's too strong. LSU's a better job. Is Florida? Because I've been in this state for the last 15 years, and clearly they don't hit home runs. They hit a home run with Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier, and everybody else has sucked. So are they a better program because or do they have more money? What's a better program? Does it mean you get to win more or you have more money? Because Florida State is a better program than Auburn. It's a better job than Auburn. It is. And it's a better job than Florida. It's at least as good a job as Florida. So you're not going to be picking from the bottom of the barrel when it comes to head coaching prospects. You're just not. Florida State is a blue blood in an attractive program. You won't be able to get Lane Kiffin. But you can go get
one Lane Kiffin,
exactly.
Frankly.
But you can go get any coordinator in the country that you want. They would walk to Tallahassee to be the head coach of this program.
Yeah, I think the people who would say that are telling you that it's about resources and that you have more resources at certain Big Ten schools and SEC schools currently. That's where the landscape's changed. You're right. That would be from a financial standpoint. There are schools with more money.
Where's it easier to win?
But I
Auburn
agree.
or Florida State?
No. Well, first of all, the Auburn job is not anywhere close to the Florida State job. We agree on that. The Florida job, yeah, I think that's probably a great job.
Probably even.
It's not. I would say this: the Florida job is not what it once was. Because I think that if you're Lane Kiffin, you can win just as easily at Ole Miss as you can Florida. Yeah. I don't see the need to leave if you're happy, if you like it there. I mean, you have all the same resources in terms of the money being poured into your program now. Obviously, you get cut the same check.
Same league.
Recruiting talent base is better in Florida.
Talent base is better in Florida. But if you are an elite recruiter, you have the same rev share number, and if you have the same NIL number, and you're a more charismatic coach, you might have a shot. I mean, we're seeing people win all over the place that they've never won before.
Right. Yeah, no, you have a shot. I do think, though, I think you have a better chance to win a national title in Florida than you do at Ole Miss. And so, to me, Lane Kiffin could stay at Ole Miss and have a chance to be a legend and not even get pressured if he goes 8-4, 9-3 a couple of years.
That's what I mean.
Where in Florida, you could be out of a job in 3 or 4 years.
If it was just money, is my point, that you can win 8-9 games, keep your job, be a legend at Ole Miss, and make the same amount of money that Florida's willing to pay you.
But I will say that in the 25 years I've been here and around college football in this part of the country, LSU is the job that almost every coach wants.
And it's for good reason, except for they're crazy.
They are crazy.
Yep.
But
100%.
But you get an unbelievable state for defensive linemen, for talent overall.
Yep. And they're invested.
You own the state.
Like, and they will fire you. They'll fire you after you win a national title. Right. They'll fire you if you're 34-14.
But
they don't care. They're going to fire you.
If you want to win a national championship, you want to be like Mike Norvell and hoist a trophy. Then
because he's won championships.
That's where you want. That's where you want to be. I mean, that is the job. So to me, if I'm Lane Kiffin and I want to win national titles and I want to have, they're going to give me everything I need, and I believe in myself. I'm going to LSU. I'm not going to Florida.
So
I'm not saying no.
Let's say that James Franklin is who Auburn, LSU. We can't say Penn State. They clearly don't want him. Auburn, LSU, Florida, and Florida State all want. And I know that's hypothetical. I'm not saying I don't even know if Florida State's interested. If you're James Franklin and you want to win a national title or get to the playoff, if money isn't that much of an object, or why would you not be in Tallahassee?
I think there's a chance he is interested.
Yeah, right. I think the interest is, number one, you have all the stuff that Florida has as far as tradition, history. Same thing with LSU. You have as much tradition and history as LSU.
And now you've upgraded the facilities to be
competitive by
more than competitive in some cases.
And also, you're in the ACC.
Yes.
I mean, that's why I keep saying this is a great job. It is a great job. The guy here has flown it into the sun. Or into a mountain. I guess sun could be positive. He's flown it into the mountain and it's crumbled into the.
Apparently not, because he's maybe win these last 3 games.
Well, but turn it all around, Corey.
I mean,
win that bowl game.
Yeah, that's 4 wins. Not only is it 4 wins in a row to close out,
streaking.
It's 5 out of 6.
Yeah,
it's 5 out of 6. All of a sudden, you're top 12 in the country going into next season, especially if you bring the offense back. But no, I just want people to understand Florida State is a great job. I don't know that you're going to go get a P4 or P2 head coach.
You
also
may not
don't know
want
that you
to
want
at
one,
this point.
But you can go get any coordinator that you want. If their first job at Florida State, they're all going to be there. They will get here with quickness.
Well, I was saying to Tom earlier that one of the things that I find interesting, this is the first time ever, and maybe this is depressing too, but I don't mean it to be.
I lifted us up. Let's bring it back down.
Here's what I mean. Depressing in the sense that we're all college football fans, and everybody listening to this and watching this are college football fans. Like, we love the sport of college football. We hate maybe the direction that it's gone lately, but we love college football. And in the past, when jobs opened up, not just the job we care about most, Florida State's, but jobs anywhere, LSU, Penn State, Michigan, you name it, because you're a college football fan and because you've paid close attention over the years to the soap opera that is college football, you had an opinion on all the principal players, all the characters of the game. So I could be sitting on your porch, Ira, with Corey, and we could be having a beer talking about college football, and we see on television the Penn State job opened up. All of us would have an opinion on who might be a good fit for that job based on our knowledge of the history of college football and their careers, the assistant coaches, former head coaches, where they're from, what they've achieved, where they're weak. But I don't think it applies anymore. I don't know that the standard by which you judge college football your whole life is in place anymore, because there is no guarantee that these guys, any of the names, there's only a couple big names in college football anymore. Lane's a name, Franklin's a name. Who the hell else is a name?
I mean, Jimbo is a name, and he just got fired.
But he hasn't mattered in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so like there's no cast of characters where you say, you know, who would be a good fit for that job and was formerly an assistant there years ago. You know, like that doesn't happen anymore. It's no longer applicable. So oddly, as a Nole, I'm sitting here looking at this play out, and I'm like, I don't really care who gets the job because I can't guarantee you they're going to be successful.
So keep Norvell.
I mean,
especially when he rips off these next three.
No, the opinion is it can be anybody but Mike Norvell at this point.
So, to your point, whenever the dust settles and we see what ends up happening, if they do make a change, which I expect they're going to have to make a change.
Yes.
When they get to that point, the hire may not be.
It won't be a popular guy.
It's not, I mean, it's just
not
like look at the market.
There's no big names
because
out
I don't.
there.
I don't think you're going to have. I don't think there's any appetite to get in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. And then
So is it Franklin?
What else is out there now? Yeah, I mean, Franklin, but I don't know if he excites a lot of people.
I mean, I think there would be a spike, a surge of interest. There'd be a contingent that's pissed because Franklin lost big games, but he won a lot of games at Kent State.
Isn't it cool to play in big games too?
And once the hire is made, you can talk yourself into being excited.
And people will.
And that's what we do. And that's what we do with Mike Norvell. Because when it became clear it was going to be a Mike Norvell, I was like, man, you just had this Renaissance program and all this other stuff, and to pick the guy from Memphis, thought that was a stretch, but people got excited, and then
to start winning, everybody gets excited.
A couple of years,
yeah. But once it happens, you start getting excited.
Yeah, no. So I don't think it's going to be a huge hire where everybody's like, oh my gosh, they pulled.
Well, also you don't want to be bent over the barrel again.
Well,
you don't want to be out here signing people to 8-year deals at $9-10 million per year, and you're going to get screwed with the buyout. Like Florida State certainly we shouldn't have an appetite for that. I wouldn't think. And then secondly, I got to imagine that. If you don't get Franklin or Kiffin, then you're talking about any number of guys that people might not know a lot about.
Yeah.
Like if Alex Golesh got the job, I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. People are going to be like, we got the guy from USF. He's done pretty well there. I don't. Okay. Nobody's going to
get again, huh?
Nobody's going to be overly excited about that. But okay, name another guy that's just like him, Summerall or whomever else that's having success at the smaller programs. All of them are going to be guys where you're like, I guess. And you won't be able to say with any degree of certainty, I know he's going to fail. I know he's going to succeed. Yeah. You won't know. You don't know.
And that's where you could see an Auburn going after a Jimbo or Dabo. I mean, I think
Dabo talked his way out of Clemson. Yeah,
I think one of those guys is. I think Auburn's going to look for more of a name. I would love Florida State to say, you know what, we're going to go get the best coach. Because again, I keep bringing this point up. Brought up last night in the Smash, but like Wake Forest doesn't get it wrong because they don't worry about selling the coach. Like they don't worry about winning the press conference. They don't worry. They're just Wake Forest is just, we're going to hire the best football coach we can hire.
They get it right. And you're right to celebrate that. But I would note that that's the mother of a necessity. They can't go get a big name.
I get it. But it's like is that a benefit to Florida State that you get the right to go try to get a big name that's may flame out? Like,
in the past, I think it would have been
because I think there was excitement at Florida State's administration about getting Willie Taggart for two reasons. One, because there was talk that Florida wanted him.
Right, and the recruiting part of that.
And then the recruiting. That they were so excited about the recruiting. And it's like, man, that's not why you hire a head coach. That's not at Florida State. Florida State, you'll be able to recruit.
It's definitely not why you hire him now, because you can go.
I do think you better find somebody who can recruit somebody.
No, but it wasn't the recruiting in terms of the operation and the dedication. It was just like, this is a young African-American guy who's got a personality.
Should be able to attract young players, exciting players. Yeah.
He almost got Thibodeau. Remember him, number one player in the country?
Almost so much that he didn't even have him, I think, in the finalists at the end.
No, but he did come on an official visit, and then he saw how the season played out. It's like, I'm not going there.
Yeah, no, it's just a weird time because normally in the past, you've always, like, I remember being on the air in the afternoons at 1270 talking about Jimbo, who had led LSU to their best offensive performance and led the SEC to their best offense performance in the history of the conference at the time. It was crazy, right? When his name got rumored, we began to get excited about the possibility of that. Now, again, remember, at that time, it was weird because there was this thought that UAB was going to try to hire him and all that other stuff that happened. Well, you could predict based on what he had done under Nick Saban at LSU that he was going to recruit big time, that he was a good player evaluator, and obviously put players in positions to succeed. That felt like it would work. But anymore, with the comings and goings of players being, fly-by-night ordeal and NIL and all the other aspects that are now in college football that didn't exist then, projecting what a guy is less to do with some of those tangibles that you knew back in the day and more about, to me, fit and certain other aspects. The organization. We keep talking about a restructuring of the organization. I think that's probably necessary if you're going to be forward thinking, moving ahead of college football as to where it's going to be eventually. I don't think you need this iconoclast that's your head coach that's attracting the players the way they did under Bobby Bowden. I don't think that exists anymore.
The Messiah coach.
Yeah,
the beauty, though, I just don't want people to get it twisted because of what Norvell's done the last 2 years. This is not this program. This is not the destiny of Florida State football to be a joke. He's turned it into a joke. It's not a joke. When you get a better coach in here, hopefully, or better players, or both, this thing can be good again really quickly. You almost have to work at Florida State to be this bad.
Well, that was my point.
You almost have you have to work it to make it awful, like it's your goal. So you get anybody in here, the floor is raised considerably, and Florida State will be playing for championships again. It's in the stars. You don't just disappear from the college landscape unless you're Nebraska, and Florida State isn't Nebraska will never be Nebraska because of where it's located.
Yeah. I will say, though, it can be great again, and it has a chance to win championships and be an annual contender, but I don't think any program, now we'll see how long this lasts at Ohio State because it's lasted forever, and they had a head start when this thing changed. But, man, I don't think anybody is going to have the kind of success Florida State had, Nebraska had, Miami had.
No, those
Florida
days are over.
I don't think that's
Alabama.
I don't think anybody's going to have that again. So, like, yearning for that, it ain't happening.
I want to stress this. Alabama is good, really good, apparently, this year. They're also winning games. They won 2 or 3 games by 3 points.
Right, the margins have gotten a lot closer.
When Nick Saban had it rolling, they were beating everybody by 40. My point is, it is the NFLization where even if the really good teams are close to losing 3 or 4 times.
And this is where I think Mike Norvell, the trouble is for Mike Norvell, and the reason I think they probably end up having to make a change here is because 2-10 is what is the backdrop. Because if that didn't happen, say you went 6-6 last year or 7-5 last year.
If this season was happening last year, people would be like, "Well, this isn't great," but
because it's a bunch of one-score games and you like the young talent.
You lost a lot of really good players last year.
But when it's coming off a 2-10, man, there's just no confidence. But it's the world we live in. Once the narrative is set, once you're the punchline, once the kids are hearing it from everybody, the players are hearing it from everybody they talk to, and recruits are hearing it, it is what it is. Like you can't dig your way out of that. Like
a 3-game winning streak to finish the season will dig your ass out of it.
Well, I've talked about the avalanche effect and that you have to get out from under it. Mike saved himself the first go around. He got out from under the weight of that just in the nick of time. One more bad year, he was effed. He was never going to turn it. It was never going to happen. There's such a weight that builds over consistency of losses.
I mean, that's what happened to
Napier.
Some point,
at some point you're done. It doesn't matter if you're a good coach, you're done because you can't recruit at that point. It's being used against you around every turn. And they're already at a slight disadvantage in the recruiting world anyhow because you're in the ACC. So that does hurt.
And it's not a good recruiting operation. Like that's the thing.
They're terrible at recruiting.
That's the thing. Like you can look at this season and say, okay, man, if this catch gets ruled a catch, if this happens, like they've had some bad luck. But he's also made a lot of bad decisions. And that's put him in a position where he had no margin for error.
Why his quarterback is his quarterback. He can't recruit quarterbacks or develop them or evaluate or whatever
either one. He hasn't been able to do either one. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
A 3-year-old died from a gunshot wound Sunday in northwest Tallahassee. The incident happened around 7:44 a.m. near Augustus Oak Court. In a social media post to Facebook Monday morning, the sheriff's office announced that detectives are working to determine the circumstances involving the incident. As of Monday morning, LCSO said there's no immediate threat to the community and no additional details will be released at this time. Multiple residents confirmed kids often play in the half-moon-shaped neighborhood, and soccer balls lay quietly in a nearby field. Neighbors were woken up early Sunday morning between 6 to 7 a.m. to the sounds of an ambulance. Sheriff's deputies and Tallahassee Police Department officers swarmed the area, blocking off all access to Augustus Oak Court, a private road just off of U.S. Highway 27. There are no further details at this time. This is an active and ongoing investigation. This is Rachel Lene with the Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A freeze warning begins at midnight tonight and remains in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 55. Northerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 33. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 49 degrees.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín. Authentic Peruvian. Right around the corner.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835, online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on, big boys. We got questions coming up next hour. I just started to preview those. You guys aren't paying attention. It's all right. We're back.
We're still doing this thing?
Up. Still doing the show. A short segment here because we went so long trying to vet the ills of what is happening here in Tallahassee. It is incredibly frustrating. I hated just personally tuning in on Saturday night and kind of feeling indifferent. And I don't think until Mike's gone I'll feel any different. I think it's irreparable. They can't get this back under him. And I don't think there's any chance that he's back. I don't. But I could be wrong, which is scary because I don't want to think for a second that no matter what, he has a chance to be back because this isn't going to get better next year if he is. I have a suspicion, though, that we'll find out something soon enough because we do have to get into the conversation about, recruiting and all of that, like the timelines.
Well, two things. One is going back to Corey, the whole topic about whether or not it's win. Even the idea that you could win these 3 games and maybe that makes the decision harder. Yeah, that's possible. But I guess the point I was trying to make is there's no indication anywhere in this program by what we've seen on the field, what we're hearing around the program, there's just no indication that they're going to make this turnaround. So that's why it's hard to address it seriously, even though you're right.
I'm not talking about Child's high school though. Beating NC State.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you would think there would be some indications. Again, going back to the year when they lost the losing one of the earlier losing streaks.
He's had a few.
Which one are you
choosing from?
The 2022.
The 10-win season.
The 3 game.
When they lost those games in the middle of the season, we sat here and talked about, and you talked about in your show, and you guys probably talked about on Wake Up, that, man, you look at this last 5 or 6 games, and these last 5 games, they could go on a run here.
It was completely different. I went on the air and said they would win out.
And that's the thing, because you could see it coming.
You could absolutely see it coming.
The difference here is everything's going in the wrong direction.
This is not, and I brought this up on Wake Up. This does not remind me of the 2022 season, clearly. It's more about the 21 season because remember, 2020 was a disaster from start to finish. They won a few games. It was a COVID year, but they were not competitive in a lot of those games. 2021 started out as a disaster and they were not competitive. And then they found some competitive spirit. And even the games they were losing, like at Clemson, they had a lead in the fourth quarter and you could see something being built.
Right.
So this season, I think in Norvell's mind, is more like his 21 now, where he could turn it, and then next year is where they take off. The problem is he doesn't have Jared Verse and he doesn't have Jordan Travis.
And it's not year 2. It would be
year 7.
And so,
I think that
let me
Okay,
finish my
sorry.
point.
I thought you had.
Well, my point that I'm trying to make though is there's no indications that any of that's happening. So there's no reason to talk about like what could possibly be, because it doesn't. Nothing about it is trending in the right direction. And then the other thing you talked about recruiting. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, and I know you guys Tom's been harping on this, everybody's harping on like how the recruiting's going to fall apart if you don't name a coach. Well, if you can't name a head coach right now and you make a change, you're not solving anything. Like you're better off with Mike Norvell trying to keep guys he's got than not having a head coach at all, is all I'm saying. And I
at least somebody they're coming to visit.
Unless you're going to be able to name a head coach.
Yeah. What's the point?
There's no benefit.
If that's the case, then you would have issued a statement of support.
So who's Florida?
So that he could look those recruits in the face and tell them he's going to be here.
No, I'm saying he's not necessarily going to be here. What I'm saying is, even if he's not going to be here,
he's still recruiting them right now.
He's still recruiting them because he thinks he might be here.
But like, you're going to screw the kids.
No,
who's recruiting?
You're not screwing anybody. You're not making him sign it now, but he's still recruiting because
who's Florida recruiting right now? Who's LSU?
That's what I'm saying.
How are they recruiting?
Nobody.
Is Alex Atkins recruiting guys to LSU right now? Who's recruiting at all?
No, I hope behind the scenes what you have is for the people that are on the roster already wondering about the direction of the program and whether or not they should entertain calls from other programs, which is probably happening. You can at least say with a degree of certainty, here, your money's guaranteed. You're good here. We're still going to uphold our NIL deals. I mean, there's a lot to entertain here and talk about as to,
and a lot of them have multi-year deals.
Yeah, and you need assurances. And if they don't know that this guy's going to be here, will their deals hold true? All of that, this is just an unmitigated disaster. It's just a mess. You're stuck.
There's no solution, but making a change doesn't solve any of that.
Yeah, it's like LSU's not ahead of you. As far maybe Florida's not ahead of you because they've made a change as far as recruiting. Like who's recruiting?
No, not as far as recruiting. No, not necessarily.
So, and how could it be? They don't even know who their coach is. So who's telling them, who's recruiting these guys to either stay on the roster or come to Florida? I mean, that's just an impossibility right now. Whether you fire Norvell Sunday or you fire him Thanksgiving, that's still going to be in play. You're still in the same boat as Florida
with
and LSU.
Everybody else.
Yeah, with everybody else. You're making a change.
Unless you were to name James Franklin, who's available.
That's or Jimbo.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's weird. While a guy is employed, you probably couldn't name anybody else.
Yeah.
You would have to be James Franklin or Jimbo. Yeah. And the problem is,
but you would have to come out and say the job is open.
even like if you wanted to go hire Hartline or Will Stein or the guy at Georgia, the DC, all these coordinators, they're going to be coaching into January. Are they coming? Are they going to do double duty? Are they going to leave Ohio State in the middle of a playoff run?
Well, that has happened.
It has, but
people do leave programs.
People have usually left for one game. Not for a month of games. That's where it would be different. I know it's fascinating because signing day is the first week of December.
That's what I'm saying.
But even the portal's early in January.
But back to the conversation we were having about recruiting and Messiah coaches, I don't know that it's that big of a deal. Like, man, here's the thing: these recruits now, they visit everywhere. I would bet of the top 150 or 200 players in the country, I would bet 70% of them have visited Florida State. Like they have so many kids visiting, not all official visits, although they have a blank ton of official visits. I mean, they probably hosted, 100 official visits.
Crap ton.
Yeah.
He caught himself.
Yeah.
But they have, their kids are coming every weekend from January to, that's what they do now. And so to me, all it's going to take is, okay, this is the head coach. This is what your offer is. It's not like you're going to have to go start taking visits.
Also, this is what the head coach has done at your position with players to get them to the NFL or get them stats or get them to All-American status. Like all that stuff will matter. But yeah, as long as you get that taken care of.
I just think in this world, the recruiting piece is
it's odd. It's just an odd time. It's nothing we're trying to deal with it on the fly like everybody else because it's not normal. This has never been our life.
Not that I disagree with you, Ira. I am curious, why has every other team, in your opinion, decided to go the other way?
I think it's the easier thing to do. I think it's definitely the easier thing to do. And I think they thought at the time of Stanford, man, if there is a chance he can win 4 or 5 of these last games,
and there is,
then you don't have to do what you had to do. It sucks. This sucks. They're going to have to not only fire him, pay him off, but those coordinators have multi-year contracts with a lot of money. And so and you had to do, you probably had to overpay in some of those situations with some of those assistant coaches because they were joining a staff that just went 2-10.
I'm bringing it up again.
We got to carry this over to the second hour because we're at that time. And
I can't say anything?
No, you can't.
I can't say anything at all.
No,
nothing.
That's the end of you. Goodbye. Hour number 2. Headliner questions headed your way. Hang it.
Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callcalls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Calls. We'll get them all.
Calls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Life doesn't slow down after 55. It just changes. The moments may look different, but they matter just as much. Maybe you're celebrating family milestones or taking that trip you've always promised yourself. At Capital Health Plan Center for Healthy Aging, your My Vitality plan helps you stay ready for it all with personalized care and support built around what matters most to you. Because there's still so much ahead. Call 850-399-9039 to learn more.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachie Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com. BURCH orthodontics.com or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last.
Corey and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Ole Miss bet up from a 13.5 to a 16.5 point favorite over the Florida Gators at Von Hemingway Stadium on Saturday. The total is moved from 52.5 to 54.5. Florida State in Tallahassee against Virginia Tech. Seminoles laying 2 touchdowns against the Hokies. 55.5 the total. South Florida, a 10-point favorite at Navy. Jaguars +3 at home with the Chargers at Everbank Stadium Sunday, 43.5 the total. College basketball tonight at the O'Connell Center. Florida Gators 18.5 point favorites over Florida State. Florida A&M +24.5 at Rice. Jacksonville, a 16.5 point dog at High Point. Score $500 in rewards with the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, gonna get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You gotta trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Hey, it's me, your car. That crack on your windshield? Yeah, it's not a good look. People People are starting to stare.
Don't let your car be embarrassed. Call Seminole Auto Glass for fast, professional auto glass replacement. We'll fix chips, cracks, and your shattered pride.
Please, for both of us.
Call 850-539-4527 or visit SeminoleAutoglass.com today. Seminole Auto Glass, saving cars
and their egos.
one windshield at a time. Better call Seminole.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Headliner questions coming your way in just a moment. First, though, we say thanks to Dr. Birch Orthodontics, always best in the business.
The best in the business.
By far.
Maybe we should go with, I don't know if nationally, if there was a national rankings, she'd be number one, obviously. There's no question.
Yeah. People would be tired of her. They're like, God, it never ends
she's
with the
Ohio
dominance.
State. She's like the Ohio State of
I feel like we could just proclaim her as the nation's best. The nation's finest orthodontics operation. Dr.
Voted.
Birch,
hey, who do you think is the nation's best orthodontist?
Dr. Birch.
What about you?
It's Dr. Birch.
So Dr. Birch has been voted the
Unanimously.
nation's number one orthodontist.
A lot of people are frustrated they can't knock her off the mantle.
Yep,
if you're in Tallahassee or up into South Georgia or into the Panhandle,
you could be anywhere and fly in.
Yeah, you could fly in. I think they really should. If
fly in to get your teeth checked,
if you're listening to this from other parts of the country, fly into Dr. Birch's
It's easy to get
office.
to Tallahassee. It's easy to take flights in general in this country right now, but especially to get to Tallahassee, it's simple.
Oh yeah, all of our kids
in and out for cheap.
A lot of our kids are step kids. A lot of our friends' kids have all gone to Birch Orthodontics, had their kids.
Ira, you've got step kids? You've never told me this.
Yeah,
I know.
But go to birchorthodontics.com. That's the website, BURCH orthodontics.com. You got to spell that on your own. I'm not helping you there. And set up a free consultation. They handle all of the latest technology. They've got all the latest technology, handle difficult cases. They do payment plans inside. You don't have to deal with trying to come up with that money out of pocket. Hey, look, times are tough. People are having to come up with $50 million buyouts.
Yeah.
You need a payment plan. Dr. Birch will take care of you. Go to see Dr. Birch and her staff, and you will not regret it.
Ira, this is going to be specifically for you, not because it was asked this way, but I know you just got done explaining it, I believe, in an article on Warchant.com. Dan wants to know why we lost in the Notre Dame game for 2026. He said, I already had it penciled in for a W. Disappointment.
Yeah, we all did.
I really appreciate that.
I did write that. That was an interesting story, the way it all played out. So,
well, play it out for the listeners who didn't hear
I'll
it.
try to give you the cliff notes quickly. It's kind
Take
of
your time, Ira. Take your time.
So back in
Hurry up, Ira.
2017, the Alabama game was announced. And 2017, the ACC announced that Notre Dame and Florida State were going to play 5 games in the future, starting in 2026. This was announced in 2017. In 2019, Florida State signed their deal with Alabama to do a home and home.
Yeah,
starting in 25 and 26.
I'll have you know we whooped that ass in 2025.
They did,
so you know.
Sorry, Crimson Tide. Thanks for coming.
Because the road trip that year was going to be to Alabama. And the ACC had already put you going playing Notre Dame that season. And not only was Florida State playing Notre Dame in 2026, but the date was already locked in because with Notre Dame, you got to do that because they don't have a conference schedule. So they've got to lock in the date. They locked it in for mid-November next year. Again, the way it would have worked out was Florida State not only was going to have to play Clemson, Miami, Florida, they're also going to play Notre Dame and Alabama. And in November, they were going to have to play those last 3 weeks were going to be a road or a home game against Notre Dame, a road trip in the ACC because you wouldn't want to play 3 straight home games in November.
And home against Florida.
And then home against Florida. So those would be your last 3. Generally, you don't want to play a really tough team before your season finale. All these SEC schools play, a directional school that week before.
Except Florida's got Tennessee this year.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Crazy.
They go Ole Miss, Tennessee, then Florida State.
Not great. But Florida, again, Florida State a lot of times will play North Alabama in that second week, whatever it is. Anyway, so
always goes well too.
Back in 2020, Florida State was looking at this and they're like, I wonder if we could move that 2026 game that the ACC gave us to another year. They worked it out with the ACC. They worked it with Notre Dame, several other schools. They all kind of juggled schedules. Syracuse was like, yes, we would love to have Notre Dame in 2026. You can have our other date. So they ended up playing like kind of roulette to make it happen, but then they never announced it because it was in the middle of COVID and the ACC was supposed to announce it because
COVID-19?
Yes, but this is in 2020.
Okay, so COVID-20.
And all the schools were waiting for the ACC to announce it. They never announced it. So it's been out there on these schedules. These
what was Jim doing?
Oh, man.
They just didn't announce it. They had other things. Yeah.
They just never announced it.
Let Notre Dame play in the ACC championship game, even though they weren't a full conference member.
So it was announced that they were going to be playing that year. Then it was taken away, but it was never announced.
It was never announced that it was off the schedule. So we've been operating under the premise that Notre Dame would be on the schedule next year. And they haven't been for half a decade.
Yeah, because those websites that do future schedules never took it off because it was never announced. So we've all been operating under that premise. Recently, a few people started asking, hey, how come on FSU's future schedules, I don't see Notre Dame? Then people are like, wait a minute, we're just taking Notre Dame off next year? Like it was a feeling like it's just
been 5 years in the making,
doomed.
guys.
Yeah, and that's not the case. It actually was taken
But
away.
it did work out. For whoever the next coach is, I don't think they're upset that Notre Dame was taken off the schedule.
It's funny, though. We in our outrage culture, weeks ago, people were mad about that schedule. Like, why are you playing those teams? And why do you want to – you're going to bring in a new head coach?
Who's going to have to wear these ass
He's going to have to play that schedule his first year.
Yeah.
And then – so people were mad about that. Then when we found out it was taken away, people were like –
no, that's terrible.
What happened to our home schedule?
Yeah, what about our season tickets? Yeah. Can't win.
There you go, Dan. That's a thorough answer, buddy.
Do we have to go to break?
Brandon writes, assuming FSU makes a change, what is your level of confidence, 1 to 10, that they actually structure things differently and just don't do another long contract with 85% buyout? IU, SMU, Nebraska's new deals seem to show ADs are not learning their lessons.
I think it is fair. I think this AD and this administration has been burned significantly enough that there's no way in Hades they can structure a similar contract, right? That would be,
you'd hope.
I would.
Well,
that would just
that
be an
goes
impossibility.
Back. Well, listen, man, if you are going to try to do that, you either, and I thought Andy Staples laid this out pretty well in an article on On3 yesterday. If you're a Warchant subscriber, go over to On3 and you can read Andy Staples' article. I thought it was a good, he talked about a couple different ways that coaches or schools could start doing it. One of them is really, you may have to pay more per year, but have a shorter term contract. So maybe instead of a coach where right now you'd have to give him $7 million a year, $8 million a year for 5 years, maybe you give him $10 million a year for 3 years. But you're done with it. And,
man.
There's no, and then if he wins, you can have incentives.
Incentivize.
But I think that's all great, and I'm all for it. I've written that, but I also think that probably again takes you out of the pool of the big name splash hires.
But there isn't one.
Well,
there isn't one.
There's Lane and James.
Nobody else.
That's it.
I mean, that's it.
Well, yeah.
Jimbo would come here for half a million.
Right.
Stop.
Well, I'm just saying, like the people that say that he's a big name, he would come here for very cheap. It's all on our boards. That's our whole message board is Jimbo. Just saying. Hey, I tell you what. He'll raise the floor. We'll get to see good football players again.
I'm not sure that's true.
We'll get to see good football players again.
Trick
A&M never went 2-10.
Tricknell says
they did a ton. They did a ton there.
Norvell,
he's going to bring all that Texas money.
Here we go, guys. It's not worth entertaining. Corey calls that. Norvell said he's won championships everywhere he's been as a player and coach, except for 1 year at Pitt. Well, actually, he never won championships at Tulsa and or Arizona State.
Division titles.
Division championships.
And as FSU champion, and at FSU champions means national titles, not ACC championships, correct? Well, that's Tricknell. That's obviously he
won a division title and an ACC championship in the same year at Florida State. So that's two.
Two titles.
2 titles at Florida State. Yeah, he won division championships. Those count, I guess. He got into the championship game. I wonder if they're on the stadiums at Tulsa and Arizona State. I would doubt it. Dillingham went and won an actual championship at Arizona State, but what are you going to do? remember there was a really funny quote that Shaq had, like his third year in the league. Maybe it was fourth year in the league when he was still with the Magic and hadn't won a title. And somebody asked him about the fact that he's never won a title. He goes, I've won a championship at every level I've been at, except for college and the NBA.
Mike's statements, writes Phenomenal, during the press conference yesterday. Interesting to hear. Do you think he's been told he's coming back next year?
No.
Then why did he go off on a tangent? That's
great question.
That's actually in the question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why we talked about it in the first hour.
we did.
You're probably going to get a lot of questions about that, especially on Twitter, I would assume. But I thought he got carried away. I just thought he got carried away, and he does that sometimes. I mean, that's kind of
especially when I ask him a question, he just gets off and running.
Well, you're good at asking an open-ended question that allows him to go on a tangent. Now, he doesn't always take it where he should, but he does take it.
Well, I mean, look, man, I was ready to run through a wall for him. I'm back on board.
I think you were probably looking quizzically at what he was saying.
The thing is, he's like, understand when he's looking at me the entire time, like.
How people talk to each other.
But I mean, it's like he's giving a speech to the fan base at that point. It turned into a stump speech. It wasn't just me and Corey talking, but I had to lock eyes with that guy for 6 minutes. I couldn't take my eyes off him because I didn't want to be rude. I couldn't take a sip of my water. And when he said 24 was an absolute and then paused, I smirked because I was like, he needs to say
blank show.
And he didn't. But Ira let me keep that in my column, which I appreciate it.
Maybe if you would just start like wandering, like your eyes just started wandering around, letting him know you were bored.
You're losing the plot.
I got my phone. I took my phone out.
Yeah. That might have helped us all.
Trailer Swift says, good afternoon, gents. At 15-0, I told my wife, well, that's game. And rather than getting angry, I decided to reread Alfred's statement following the Stanford close loss to give myself the much-needed shot of apathy. What suggestions do you have for fans that are in this state of limbo? Yeah, I brought this up all yesterday, and I mean, this is
it's fine. You can be apathetic.
It's not
does suck.
It's not ideal.
Just know that, like, I'm a Falcons fan, right? And they do not have a good head coach. That team is off the rails. I don't even think they have a good quarterback, quite frankly, which scares me. But I know at some point in my lifetime they'll be good again. And I know they'll probably get to a Super Bowl again. They might win one. Florida State, I mean, it's just the odds are, right? The odds are. We can't all be Tampa Bay fans that have just loved life their whole lives. They've never had any down years.
Yeah.
The point is Florida State's better than the Falcons. You know what I mean? That you will have
similar to the Falcons.
Well, no, I would say
so you have a win over Buffalo.
No, I'm saying the programs. The Florida State has experienced
won championships.
so much more
Atlanta's
success than the Atlanta Falcons.
That's right.
You will be back. You will be back. Look around, man.
Yeah,
Just
but
look
the games
around.
are being played this weekend. This is where I understand his rage
I get
and frustration.
The apathy. I get the apathy for now, but don't have apathy about the program because the program will be good again soon, and you're going to be back all on board with however it happens, whoever's the coach. It is not destined for failure.
Yeah,
it's
once they win these 3 games.
Well, and then you're hoisting the Gasparilla Bowl trophy.
Yeah.
That's 8-5, baby.
Oh man. R.A. Noel writes, gentlemen, situationally.
I think he comes back if they go 7-5.
Do you think the fans that are mad at Norvell at this point are now mad at him?
They should be.
Yeah.
R.A. Noel writes, gentlemen, situationally, FSU is more cheeks than Jeff riding a horse. Yes, FSU, that's an old story, yes. FSU hasn't won on the road in 2 years. Can you discuss how many of those stadiums have post-game crews waiting to buzz the tower on the Warchant rap? Which coach got Norvell's old office at Moore? That's funny.
I don't know who's up there. Who's up
I don't know what they're doing there.
I like that office. I'll take that office.
It's a good office.
It's a good office. It's a solid office.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know what they're going to do.
We should go up there and look. Yeah. I'm sure there's somebody up there already.
Office is for closers. You don't get that office. It remains empty until somebody can close.
Link's at the baseball stadium, so he's not going to have a
it's Link or Lonnie that gets that office.
Yeah, they have their own stuff.
They
have their own stuff. I'd say it'd be Penske maybe, but he's got his own thing. So
yeah, but I've seen Link's
Jennifer
office.
Hyde.
He'd rather be in the Moore there. That's a much better office.
Yeah, you're right. And it's not that far a walk.
Yeah, I bet Luke would take that office.
They could win on the road, man. They could win on the road. Would you feel good? So they fire him before the Florida game, but they say you get to coach this last game because they like him more than they like Jimbo, and they will let him do it. And
he
has
taken another job.
Taking another job.
I was going to say, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do the glossing over this.
He's
God, you got Jimbo's all the way down, don't you, buddy? What are we doing out here?
I want Jimbo and Norvell to coach together.
God,
those are my guys.
Buddy.
But don't you think that's like best case scenario that he gets one last? Because I know people hate Mike Norvell now because of what he's done in the program, but I don't think they hate him as a human being. And they would like him. They would like to see him smile and have one last Hoorah.
I don't think people sit around thinking about it.
But I'm
I
saying
think
it
they'd
would
like him
be
gone as soon as humanly possible.
It'd be a cool image for him to win at Florida.
It would be. They don't win on the road, so it ain't going to happen.
Oh, sorry, Mike. I tried, buddy. I tried.
FSU alum 04 writes, wouldn't it be beneficial to let Mike go now and bring in a new coach ASAP so we can start reevaluating the roster?
Yeah, but who are you going to bring in?
You can't bring. They all have jobs. They all have jobs.
I mean,
they're not going to leave.
James Franklin's the only option in terms of that, and
another guy with the JF initials.
That may end up being what they do, but I don't. There's no.
That's the only benefit, right? Franklin is the wild card because he could come in and immediately look at what you're doing. He could watch you practice for the Florida game. He could run the practice. Who cares? But everybody else is at it. They're somewhere. You can't bring. That's why Florida and LSU did it. Auburn did it. I don't know is Alex Atkins telling Nussmeier what to do? Is he running practices? There's nobody running those practices that's beneficial for those football teams right now.
Walter writes, good afternoon, winners.
There you go. Thanks, Walter.
Feels like
he is solid as a rock, man. That guy is persistent. If it is true that we are at the bottom of a Cheeks league, damn it, man, do we have an internal or external sphincter problem? Since you can control the external sphincter, I think we clearly have an internal sphincter problem. Your thoughts?
I'll tell you what. My mom has a bidet. Like I have a bidet too. We got a Tushy sponsor. Did you get your Tushy sponsor? So we hooked it up. It's fine. It's good. My mom has one.
Way to sell it, Corey.
It is good, but I'm saying it's not like top. It's not like a $1,000 one.
It's not like my mom being in France.
My mom has one that's got
Japan.
warm water.
Why do we care?
Because we're talking about Cheeks. And I'm telling you, it will change your life.
Okay, and then at the end of this story, where are we going to be?
Hey, let's talk about the Notre Dame game some more. I'm telling you, that bidet will change your life, Ira. It will change your life.
He's asking about internal, external, and not about.
That is internal.
No, but he's talking about, do we think we need a larger shift in the way we go about the business of operating in football?
Yes.
100%.
And so that would include a lot of things, right? That might include a GM and the different roles and allocation of funds and all of that. Running it like an NFL program.
The whole thing, blow it all up, start over. There's nothing about it. There's nothing when you look at this football program right now, from recruiting to the portal evaluation to the play on the field to the coaching to development of players. There's nothing that you look at it and say, okay, let's go build around that. No, man, I think it's a complete.
And don't you think
starting over?
Correct. The point I keep making about and I just keep bringing him up because he's always at the top of my mind. Heartline, bring in somebody like him who knows what NIL looks like, what NIL can do. And I know you wouldn't have the resources that Ohio State has, but I feel like he's been around a program that obviously knows how to allocate funds.
Yeah, I don't think allocating is the problem, though. I mean, I understand it is. You wanted somebody that could do it well. I get it.
Yeah,
but every school is different. And again, Ohio State doesn't have resource issues. Texas A&M doesn't have resource issues. So like the people tell me, oh, Jimbo recruited in this world, the NIL world. Yeah, man, he had a $1 billion oil magnets all around him, that he had all the money he wanted. Ohio State has, it's the biggest school in the.
But he knows what it's supposed to look like, and he couldn't get there. He couldn't get there with Florida State's, but he could do a reasonable replica of what Florida State is doing.
But he needs the resources. I don't.
Well, he needs the resources. What relative to Pitt in Notre Dame, or Virginia? And he has
this is a different discussion. I think ultimately Florida State aspires to win national championships, but really,
first things first, kids. Baby steps.
But
win ACC games.
To your point, by the way, then you would go and talk about Glenn Schumann, would you not?
I would, yeah.
Well, and here's the reason. Again, I want to reiterate this. He's at Alabama. Then he's an administrator there, a coach, a coordinator for national championship teams, 5 of them. But he held different roles like director of football operations while he was there. So he's done this at Alabama and Georgia, and he saw how the sausage was made. All the ways that you can win, cheating and otherwise. All of it. He got that with Saban and no doubt Kirby. So he's got the real way to do it and the cheating ways to do it. There's all the ways. It's all there.
I'm all about it. The thing with a bidet is you don't even want to get off the toilet.
Never been a head coach, though.
I know, but that's
this is what's going to happen with every candidate, though, right?
He's going to bring up bidets?
No, he might, but we're talking here.
Okay.
So no matter who this person is, he's 35 and he's never been a head coach. There's going to be a downside.
Also never played college football.
Well, and the whole thing, that's why it was such a big story that Jimbo left Florida State to Texas, because that doesn't happen a lot. Like you don't usually
leave a good program for a bad one.
You don't usually get successful
you don't get guys like
in the
that.
Power 5 level to go take other jobs, and it was a unique set of circumstances there. But my point is, Yeah, so you're going to have there's no sure things, and that's why I don't think you need to go into a long-term huge money deal
100%.
because there's just no.
And one of those coordinators from one of those big schools can't expect an 8-year deal. Who are you?
And you would have thought the most sure deal, and I think brought up last week, is just Hugh Freeze. Like that to me felt like, okay, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna
sink that low,
if you're gonna go that low and take that guy. Well, at least you know you're going to have a successful offense and you're probably going to win games. And then that didn't happen.
How about Auburn putting up 38 the game after he leaves?
Done,
That's insane.
Well, it just shows when things begin to rot. I mean, when you got people going through the motions at some point and they've tuned somebody out.
Yeah, but then it's the same players. Ostensibly with the same
they're not
coaches.
playing for that guy. I mean, we see it all the time.
Yeah,
Players not playing.
crazy.
I mean, Florida State went 2-10 last
Hey,
year.
maybe that's the argument for firing Norvell, just to have somebody else coach them on the road those last 2 games.
Luke writes, distinguished member of the Dead Dads Club.
Oh, sorry, Luke. Sorry for your loss.
For years, I've heard Jeff refer to Carter Finley as the Piss Palace. I'll be going there for the FSU game this year with a big group of friends, and assuming we aren't a pile of jerks, we won't get piss thrown on us, right?
No, you got to be a player, right?
They've had multiple incidents with the pissing over there at
also,
NC State.
Those were different Florida State teams where people hated them. This is more
They
of a
were
lovable.
dominant
This
teams.
was more of a
They were
lovable.
dominant teams that ruined people's dreams.
This is a more lovable Florida State
Won
team.
by freaking 70.
Yeah.
Caused that kind of frustration.
Yeah, that's not
to where
that's not
piss
this.
could rain down from on high.
It's not this. So I think they'll be more behaved.
They might give them tea.
I think
they
it'll
might
depend
pat their
on
heads.
It'll depend on how you. I think it'll be depend on how you carry yourself. I think it'll,
Oddly, Ira, this team has shown all kinds of false bravado at times this year.
Well, he's talking about the fans.
Yeah, the fans.
Like if
The
you're
fans.
a fan,
Will they
just
be okay?
Oh, him. I'm talking about the players.
No, yeah, he's talking about he doesn't want piss thrown on him. So just be nice and respectful.
That
There's
goes
no guarantees though.
Yeah, it is.
It's a rough place.
Tell him you're a big Phillip Rivers fan.
They had a run there.
They did.
They had a little run of quarterbacks there.
Like
yeah.
when I took Kim to South Florida for the first time, and I'm like, just don't make eye contact. Just keep
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
I followed that advice. That's what I would do.
Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment. Let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
When I get home from work, I'm ready to relax. So I call Swain Pools and Spas to put my pool in the back. I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Swain Pools and Spas is your pool and spa everything store. Swain sells them, Swain repairs them, Swain renovates them, Swain services them. Swain even has pool and spa supplies. And they'll test your water too. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows more about pools and spas than Swain. Almost 40 years of quality, reliability, and service. Look for the big Swain sign on Tharp Street. Call them at 386-7113 or online at SwainPools.com.
Swain Pools and Spas.
Hey, no fans, friends, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Kyle writes we're at the bottom of a cheek
And
league
the seat
clip.
is warm too, and it dries you off.
Boy, yeah,
it has a fan that dries you off when it's done.
Is there any reason if you feel you have to pay a coach top dollar, you can't just have that be a 1 year or a 2 year deal? Well, that's recruiting. That goes back to recruiting. Coaches need to be able to sell the program.
Yeah, nobody buys that.
I'm just saying
anymore.
that's why.
That's why he would
it
say
is.
it.
Yes.
But
That's why they've always done it.
I was going to ask you all this, and I know we're saying it's not even a possibility. But if they do go 7-5, and Norvell agrees to restructure his contract.
No, I don't want him here. The program is shot. He's
Okay.
part of the problem.
Right.
He needs to go.
What about you, Ira?
Same.
Okay. Mike, I'm trying my best, man.
Clint writes, hey, guys, do you think the delay in the firing of a Coach Norvell has to do with getting the GM in place first? Well, I hope.
That's what's I find maybe the most fascinating of the whole thing. Because
Me too.
You can't. It's not the NFL. You can't go find an NFL GM like a Bobby Beathard, somebody from our childhood. I couldn't think of.
How about Martin Mayhew? Florida State's own.
Sure.
Eric Coryell
or whoever John Lynch. He's a famous GM in the NFL right
currently.
now.
Yeah.
Because college, it's a whole different ballgame. So there's no guarantee. Who do you go get for a GM?
When the guy that Carolina, Belichick brought in, apparently is a complete disaster.
Florio, he left. He's the guy from Pro Football Focus.
Yeah.
It's not that guy, is it?
No, Florio's the guy that was with the Patriots years and years ago.
Who am I thinking? It's a different Florio?
Florio is with the
You're thinking of NBC Sports Florio, who does the show.
This is a different guy.
They're probably related. It's got to be related to Florio's. Give me a break. But yeah, so I wonder who's even like a top-notch college GM. Like, does Ohio State have a good one, or do they just have good coaches and a lot of money? You know, how do you discern who is good at that job in the current structure?
Well, I think one of the things
must have a good one.
Well, maybe not. I mean, I think what you would do if you're trying to define that role, first of all, you'd have to define your role. Like, what is that person going to be responsible for?
And we're talking about a different GM than what they have currently in Derek Ray, which is not that role.
Right. Yeah, and he's likely gone too. But I would think that, so do you want this GM to be in charge of what? Player personnel? Just let the coach? Like the coach, you know what? We're going to give you players. I'm going to have a staff full of evaluators that report to me, and we'll tell you, these are the kids that fit. You worry about the X's and O's, dog.
Well, and if in that world, you would not pay that head coach anywhere near.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem likely, right?
The Belichick's guy was Lombardi.
Yes, it's Michael Lombardi.
So Florio was right. He's the Pro Football Focus guy. Had nothing to do with Bill Belichick.
Michael Lombardi is the one who came over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was also on Visa, and he's kind of a clown. Anyhow, but the point would be, yes, you have to define the terms for what a GM is going to be, and then how big is his staff? Who's reporting to him? Do they have talent evaluators? Do they have scouts just like they do in the NFL? Because the GM in the NFL does a lot.
And he hires and fires coaches. That wouldn't be happening.
Now, they also have to answer to team presidents And so that's a different structure in the NFL altogether.
Yeah, to the question, I think it's a good question. I would love them to go to a new model because I think it requires a new model. I wrote this a month ago. Like, I do think that doing what you've always done when the entire sport has changed, everything about it has changed over the last 3 years in terms of the portal, NIL, revenue sharing, all of this. Why would we keep doing what we've always been doing? It makes no sense. But that is a huge undertaking, and that could explain it partly. I don't know. I don't know that is what's happening, but I would be all for it. If you're trying to reinvent what this is going to be, man, use this time to do that.
I've speculated about any number of those things and thought that possibly the delay does have to do with a restructuring. Who knows the situation with the AD? There's so many different factors. Obviously, money is involved in all of this too. But yeah, there's a lot of this, I would think. Ryan says, hello, gentlemen. A question for each of you. Ira, will the increase in the athletic department debt to $119 million affect in any of the football budgets moving forward?
Is he saying with this? I'm confused on the debt. Is he saying because of what the buyouts?
I'm assuming that. Well, he's saying, will the increase in the athletic department debt to $119 million affect any of the football budgets going forward?
No, I mean the debt they've taken on from the expansion of the football building and then the indoor facility, that they've taken on a lot of debt with all that. That's not going to change their operating budgets. Yeah, they're going to fully fund. The whole revenue sharing thing is 20.
Well, that's mandatory.
They're going to fully. Well, you don't have to fully fund it. Not everybody is, but they are going to fully fund it.
That would be insane not to. And good luck hiring a coach.
Yeah, they're going to fully fund that, and then some schools aren't. And then they are. Yeah, man, Florida State's football budget is they're not sparing any expense. They get it that they need to. There's no doubt in their minds that they have to commit to football to be successful.
And they have committed to football.
They have.
Clearly, they're paying a guy $50 million to not coach.
There's no way you do all the things they've done, taking all the
and
debt
then get on the cheap,
and then try to just try to
nickel and dime yourself to 9 wins.
It'd be pretty silly. Number 2, hardcore. Mike's response to your question seemed like he thought you were coming off the top rope with an elbow. Do you think a lot of his response was him trying to convince himself or present something better for his next job?
I was really hoping this was going to be a bidet question.
I'm close. I'm answering it. I agree with them more than
what?
Than the
he was convincing himself.
I think it was more he talked himself into it, and as he thought about it, it's like this is what I should be projecting.
To
strength, whoever might
some sort of strength.
Yeah. Did it feel like it was animosity towards me for the question? I didn't think so. I think me and Mike have a good enough.
I'll say this. Let me say this real quick on that topic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter to anybody. It doesn't really even matter to me. But I do respect the fact that Mike Norvell has taken unbelievable amount of arrows,
warranted,
and barbs.
Warranted.
It's all warranted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's been unwarranted, but it's hard to be in that spot.
Oh yeah,
and you're just getting beaten by the media.
You can hear it and see it all over his face.
But what I'm saying is you're getting attacked, and he never does. He never throws it back at us.
He doesn't do the thing that you've seen so many coaches
Dabo
do.
and Jimbo
and
and
where
so
they
many other
lose
coaches
it.
have done.
Well,
Brian
I think
Kelly.
So that I do give him respect for that. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying it makes him.
It's not going to make a difference about whether or not he keeps a job. Right?
But I did want to give him a shout out.
It's commendable.
Yeah,
I would think, and it is commendable. But I would also point out, it seems to me that if you have PR people around you at all. And I bring this up all the time.
It's easier said than done.
I know, but it's just to me like before you step out to the dais at any point, you should have somebody there. It's in your best interest to say, hey, look, you're going to get asked about this. You're going to get asked about 4th and 3. You're going to get asked about this. You're going to get asked about losing, 1,000 games in a row. People are you're going to get asked, how do you plan on answering that? Because that's, you wouldn't want to put yourself in a position where you fly off the handle because the stress breaks you and you look like an idiot.
So the Saturday night that Florida State won in Gainesville, and Jimbo Fisher had already agreed to go to Texas A&M.
It was an afternoon game.
Reporting that
afternoon game, by the way.
And we're reporting that, and he stands up at a press conference and calls me, Gene, and Corey, maybe other people, but all of us out by name.
Sure.
And says that we put all this out there for the clicks and the views.
Yeah.
And he's taunting us.
Yeah.
And he knows he's leaving.
He's left the next day.
They all have PR people, but that when you get up there, it's
I'm not questioning as to why it happened.
So I do give Norvell credit for he never gets unprofessional.
No.
It doesn't matter. It's not why I want to keep him, but I think he deserves credit for that.
If FSU announced the day after the UF game that Tony White was the new head coach, and he was signed to a 4-year, $20 million deal with, would he bring in a new OC? What would your reaction be if that happened? If Tony White was the next head coach, would he bring in a new OC, and what would our reaction be?
Don't have any idea about the OC part.
I would think he would.
I would think he'd bring in
his own people. Everybody does. They should too, by the way.
Hopefully it's not whoever he likes in Nebraska, because that doesn't get done out there.
No.
Yeah, I don't see that being a realistic scenario.
You know what? I don't either. But again, let's see what the next 3 games look like. They've gotten better.
That defense has gotten better.
It's gotten better since the ridiculous drive in the the half against Stanford. They've been a pretty good unit.
Could do without those opening drives last
Hey,
just
you got to live with it, man.
Right
you got to live with it.
It's just part of it.
It's like you go to a rock concert, you want to hear all the hits. They're going to play some new stuff. You just got to live with it. Florida State's always going to give up a 12-play, 7-minute drive.
Any chance the big-time boosters will still pony up if we keep Mike and buy another roster for 2026? So if we kept Mike with the big-time boosters, continue to pour in and ensure that we bring in great players.
I think it's a challenge, man. I think it's not just for money for NIL or anything else. It's just a challenge for people to donate and buy season tickets and keep their commitments. Yeah. I mean, those, when they did the stadium renovation and they got people to lock in for multiple years, if people back out, what are they going to do? They're not going to sue all these people. So I just think it's going to be very, very difficult to get people to keep buying tickets, keep doing their commitments, keep donating money, let alone to NIL. If they decided to run it,
Seminole headlines might cease to exist. No, we get tired of it too. We're not going to give this guy our any more time of our day.
Where else will we get our bidet information?
Well, that's true. That's true.
One way to handle the apathy, the sadness in your heart, and the frustration is to have an ice cold Tavello.
Oh yeah, it really solves everything.
Ice cold Tavello, King. While you're watching good football elsewhere, crack that bad boy, that little coffee blonde, and take it on down.
We could go up to Thomas. We could go to Thomasville this week. Do we you got any time? You're going to Gainesville.
I'm going to Gainesville tonight. I'll be there.
By the way, tell everybody what you're going to be doing. I know this is a Tavello spot, but tell people what you're going to be doing.
Corey, depending on exactly how close to the bench I am, I'm supposed to stand in my velour.
Yeah, your sweatsuit.
My track suit for FSU and give the 3 every time we shoot threes, which is going to be 100 times. So I have to.
Are you going to do it for every make or just? I think it'd be
how
funnier.
Can I know if it's going in, Corey? I don't know.
Well, after they make it, you could stand
up.
If
Leger Jones is shooting it, I'm standing.
But I feel
Anybody
like
else, I'm not so sure.
I think you do it when they shoot it, and then you do the Tommy Arrow thing.
Oh,
when
if it goes in?
Yeah.
What if I did the suck it?
You could do that too.
You think that would draw attention from the folks in Gainesville after a while?
Especially in that suit.
Do they serve beer in the
I don't know.
Whatever
they have the O'Connell Center, right?
You know what it's called? A new name
now, yeah, they got to serve beer, and they don't serve Tavello, but they're dumb.
It's been a minute since I've been in the O-Dome. I'll be walking in with the 3 sign followed by the suck it. I don't think I'll get much camera time at all.
Yeah, and we wouldn't recommend that to the guys going to NC State. But if you're if you're up in Thomasville or if you're in Tallahassee, just make the quick ride up to Thomasville. It's in downtown, right when you get to downtown.
The red bricks, baby.
On your right-hand side. Great tap room. You can actually see the operation where they brew the beer, all the different varieties, and then you can taste them. You get the trial, do flights, and then the back patio.
I was waiting for you to find flights. I was going to let you stumble in the dark for a while. I was going to see where flights comes in.
The thing is,
we're try the trial. You get to
the trial.
We're only going to be able to see him do it for a half. Because when they're shooting on the other end of the floor, we won't see him for every 3. Yeah. So you're only going to have to do it for one half.
Maybe you'll catch in the corner of the camera shot.
So it'll be the second half. The first half, you get your bearings. In the second half, every 3 they shoot, you stand up. It's only going to be 20. It's only going to be 20 times. You don't have to do it 50 times because it's.
I will say this: what if they go and win, and I'm right there, and I get what a night!
Could storm the court.
What a night in Gainesville.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy out there like riding the horse.
Like, well, he looks like he's a coach. He's dressed like he's a coach.
Tony writes, Mike Norvell is pretty media friendly and measured with the way that he handles press conferences. If FSU ever moved on and hired a very different type of personality as a head coach, they've had that.
Yeah.
The over-the-top culture preacher, the thin-skinned us against the media guy, or the corporate buzzword coach you'd probably feature on Coach Speak. How would that change the way you guys cover the program? Would it change the tone of Seminole headlines, for example? How would you handle the pressers, or how often you'd lean into the national circus around the coach? Yeah. So, what would we change?
Do you think say they hire Franklin, and Franklin doesn't like one of your questions after a loss to Virginia or something, and he comes at you, do you think most people would be like, how dare he? That's our Ira. You don't come at Ira like
Depends
that.
on what the question is.
Yeah, well, it would be a good one. It's Ira asking
I would
it.
assume
And
as
it would
much
be
as
fair.
well.
And if
Yeah.
he just did the normal coach, gets bristled and gets in his feelings, I feel like most people would have Ira's back.
Probably so. I think so. And I think as long as the questions are fair, they always have the media's back in that sense. Now, they love to just add on to this nonsense that's been fueled by we know who forever about the media's evil. But if you ask a legit question and it's fair-minded and, there's no angle to it,
Yeah.
you're not trying to besmirch him or anything like that. It's just a question of, 4th and 3, decided to go for it in that second half, coach. In retrospect, you happy with that call? And then he flipped out.
And he's like, who are you? Who are you to question
Of course
me?
they would.
But I think also the fact that we've been doing this for so long, and Ira's known. Like a lot of Florida State fans know Ira and like Ira. I feel like they'd be like, man, that's one of us. Screw you. Newcomer, screw you.
Again, I think it's the question's fair.
Yeah, it
sure.
depends if it's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Well, you're not
The
asking
thing-
a dumb question, Ira.
Yeah, every once in a while. But the thing with Franklin is, his reputation is very difficult to work with. Like that's why people feel like it was a quick exit. at Penn
They couldn't
State,
wait.
That once they felt like they could make
2
it-
losses,
yeah.
they went, you're done, buddy.
So that is part of it. But in terms of me, like I just, and I don't know how you guys handle it, but when you're interviewing somebody and they call you out on a dumb question, I don't have a problem with that. Like if it's a dumb question,
sure.
I'm like, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
But if you're just being a jerk just to be a jerk, then yeah, it's not going to help our relationship going forward.
I've only had it a couple of times, but it is kind of rare. Now, you guys have to do more of it than I do, but I've done plenty of interviews with people in which, I had it with Seth Greenberg, and I told him basically suck it and cut
Well,
him
you don't
off.
have a relationship with him.
But I'm
so it
saying,
doesn't matter.
usually if you have a relationship, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I've talked to Norvell now. We talked to him 150 times, 300 times. I can't even put a number on
Hundreds.
it. We're not friends. We're not friendly. I like the guy.
You're not
but
going
we
out
don't
to
have
dinner,
yeah,
right? It
that's
actually
just
wouldn't
kind of the-
behoove you to do that.
Yeah, so it's not, it just that relationship isn't something that really defines. It's not something I care about, other than I just want him to answer questions.
Yeah, somebody asked me recently. I was talking to some people at lunch, and they were, including somebody that used to work at the university, and they were like, do you think the media has been so hard on him because he locked you guys out of practice? And I was like, no.
Hard on him?
Yeah.
Well, have flipped so quickly on him because he did get, people were supportive of Mike Norvell, including the media, because they were having success. And then last year happened.
Mm-hmm.
My theory on it was, I'm curious of your guys, because they felt like it went very negative pretty quickly.
Well,
once, and I'm not saying it's not justified, but to outside people, they know you got shut out of practice, and then now everybody's harping, is that related? My point was, I think if we were quick to go negative, it's because we took so much crap for last year. Like, we're the
ones that told everybody they were going to be good.
Well, we reported what he was saying.
Yeah.
He said, I was at the booster meeting over at the Moon, where he said this is the biggest, fastest, strong team they've ever had.
He said it was the best offensive line he ever had.
And so when he said all that, we reported it. And then people were like, hey, you were at practice. You didn't realize. And it's like, man, it's very difficult for us to know that, but we took a beating for that. So when things aren't going well, we're not going to be defending him again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see your point there, but I would, first of all, I'd take issue with the premise of the question. I don't think it's overly negative at all. I haven't heard much personal vitriol towards Mike Norvell at all. That's where I think
some of the things that have been written, it said, I could make an argument that's been over the top.
I don't doubt that you could. I think I would immediately.
You did say he was a loser and you wish he'd leave the state.
I thought that was a little.
I have not read everything that's out there.
Right.
I know what I've said. I know what you two have written and said. I have not seen anything where it appeared to cross the line to get personal. Now, maybe there's something out there. Admittedly, I haven't read everything, but not from anybody whom I respect have I heard it get personal
but also
at all.
The practice element of it, and I'm speaking only for myself. Man, I get to sleep more. It's not a big deal at all.
Nobody's pissed about not having to go over to the campus and sit there and watch the special teams for an hour and a half.
But more importantly, the last 5 years, at least the last 4 years, because COVID we didn't get to, I would probably twice a month credit Mike Norvell repeatedly. Like,
For allowing the access.
understand nobody else in the country gets this access. Nobody else in this country. So I was over the top in my praise for getting to watch practice. I wouldn't then been so offended that he just did what every other coach in the country does.
Again, I mean, I just think this is as simple as you lose this
you
many
keep
games.
losing a
You're
lot of
2-10,
games.
and now you can't win a road game. You lose most of your
6 and
ACC
15,
games.
man.
I mean, it's just
you're 2-12 in your last 14 ACC games. There's negativity that comes with that.
yeah. You got to win. You got to win. Amar says,
Did we
hello,
just fly
Gents.
through the last break? We just not having one?
We can have one in a
No,
second.
I don't care.
I feel like people get screwed. I'm trying to get both
Yeah, let's
Facebook
do
and
it.
Twitter in there really quick. Amar Gents writes, Gents, this program needs to be fixed faster than Dr. Birch can fix a crooked smile. Sadly, we're stuck with the same lousy meat manager, Mike Norvell, with no registers in sight. Sure feels like this is a race to 6 wins for Mike. Getting to a bowl means, are we stuck with him again? What say you? I say no. Iris says no, I believe. Corey?
I mean, I don't see a scenario where that happens.
But if it did,
I'm
Ira,
saying
can
if
you
I don't
okay,
see
so
it
really
happening.
quick,
you can't put yourself in it.
All right,
You can't
so let's suspend disbelief for a second. Say he gets to 6 wins. Dude, would you see him come back?
No, not for
Okay,
6.
and Ira,
Not for
just
6.
suspend it for a moment. No. Okay, meaning
7, though. 7, gang. I'm telling you, it's out there.
How are we supposed to hire Jimbo Fisher if we're going to keep Mike Norvell?
This is the worst show ever.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
News now.
A man accused of a deadly shooting in Calhoun County Sunday evening was arrested in Tallahassee. 21-year-old Kellen Spites was arrested hours after the incident initially unfolded in Calhoun County. Spites' arrest comes after an incident transpired around 6 p.m. Sunday. Officers were called to Calhoun Liberty Hospital, where a man who had been shot was brought in. He eventually died at the hospital despite life-saving measures. An investigation revealed that the shooting happened at Cooper's Park in Bluntstown. Authorities searched the area and multiple shell casings were found. Investigators identified Spites as a suspect, along with his vehicle. With the help of a Florida Highway Patrol crime scene analyst, Spites' vehicle was located near a shopping center in Tallahassee. Deputies attempted a traffic stop on the vehicle, but the 21-year-old fled from authorities, leading to a short pursuit. Shortly after, Spites abandoned the vehicle and began to flee on foot before being apprehended by Leon County deputies. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frobley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A freeze warning begins at midnight tonight and remains in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 55. Northerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows dip down to about 33. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 53.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Couple of interesting questions here really quick. Jason in Charlotte wants to know, he says, hi guys, Jason in Charlotte here.
See what are the ACC championship game, Jason?
What are the chances for a lower buyout for Norvell if another school were interested in him. I'd like to know who that school would be because it'd have to be a head coaching job, right?
Yeah. And every dollar he makes, the way this works in his contract and most contracts, every dollar he makes from his next school will come off of what Florida State owes him. The problem is, like Willie Taggart, FAU hired him as their head coach partly because they got him at a discount because they knew they didn't have to pay him $5 million a year. They paid him way less than that. So then that reduced what Florida State came off the top for Florida State. So yeah, if he got a job making $5 million a year or $7 million a year, that would all come off of what Florida State owes him, and that would help a lot. But it's more likely, to your point, maybe he takes a coordinator job or an assistant coach job.
Yeah, he's kind of
making $500,000. That's not going to be a big dent.
The last time he was a coordinator, he had the worst offense in the country, though. It's going to be and I don't think he'd go be a coordinator for some small school. So
I don't know, man.
You think he'd be like appealing?
He's got a history of being a good.
I know,
coach.
but recently
1 year doesn't ruin it.
It was such a bad year, though.
I don't think
it was such a bad year.
I think he can. I don't know if he can get a job as a. He's not going to get
like
OC
a power
at Notre
4,
Dame, but he might be able to get it at a mid-level school.
Maybe Kenny will hire him.
He could be a receivers coach at Arizona State.
Yeah,
there you go. Kevin writes, I have concerns with how the coaching staff is creating culture on this team. For example, McCoy absolutely kills your team with 2 back-to-back penalties.
Great question,
blocking
Ira.
downfield.
Thanks, buddy.
And a personal foul that likely removes any chance you have of getting a score and getting back in the football game. Every other coaching staff I see immediately sits a player when they do something like that. They're lucky to get back in the game, but not us. In fact, we reward him by targeting him on the very next play.
Great catch he made, by the way.
Combine actions like that with what we saw on the sidelines at Stanford, and it makes you wonder if the players have any respect for this staff at all.
What about
that's absolutely fair.
But we can flip it because Ira asked Norvell about that, and Norvell said he answered. He goes, I was watching the entire time. They both swung at each other. Of course, our guy gets called for it. He doesn't. So Norvell, if you think your guy was erroneously flagged.
Except if he swung, it would have been offsetting. Like there's no good about that. I didn't understand that when he said that. I was like, yeah, man, but your guy still swung.
I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it was the right coaching decision. I'm saying when you're talking about respect, wouldn't LaWayne McCoy maybe respect his coach for having his back in that moment, or is that something you don't even worry about?
I guess all I know is he said, because he said, throughout the years, if you look, there's times where we have done that. We've disciplined guys, and he brings up the Deuce Spann thing where he gets in Deuce Spann's face, and there have been times, but I just know the 2 last times this happened where guys got emotional.
Edwin Joseph,
and they both played right after.
He did take Jerry Wilson off the field immediately after Jerry just decided he didn't want to tackle.
I don't want to hit anybody.
Yeah, he just said, you're getting off the field. Now Jerry went back in the game, but he did do that. That was something.
Chris wants to know what the ceiling for the basketball team is this year. What is a reasonable expectation? He's wondering. I think a lot of people are. They've turned their attention a little bit to basketball.
It's impossible. I mean, it's really hard to know.
How would you know?
I agree.
Those 2 teams they played weren't any good, and there's going to be such wild fluctuations in their performances because of the way they play.
Yeah, I think they'll beat some people they shouldn't beat, and they're going to lose to some teams that you'll be
and they could be ugly losses too. Like they could an 11-point loss can turn into a 29-point loss.
But go ahead, Ira.
Well, I was going to say one of the things I do like about it, Matt Lasser is doing a big signing day video. He's doing a signing day video for tomorrow because tomorrow is signing day where they're going to have, I think, 3 really high-profile top 100 players, maybe top 50 players in the country signing with them. But in that, we also talked about, he had me on, and we talked a little bit about just where the program is right now, the way Luke's built the offense. I do think it's intriguing the way when you have that many guys who can shoot, because you're not relying on one guy to be hot. Right. So guys are going to have off nights, and when you're a 3-point shooting team, that could be a problem. But they do have a bunch of guys that can shoot. You'd like to think that all of them aren't going to go to a funk at the same time.
And they definitely will shoot.
Yeah,
they are not shy.
So when he described things that could get you benched, such as turning down an open shot, he wasn't kidding.
What do you think that's like music to a player's ears? Like, oh my God, my coach is going to be mad at me if I don't shoot?
Yeah.
I'm coming to Florida State.
Well, he actually said the quiet part out loud. I pay you to shoot the ball when we get a good-looking shot. It's one of the shots that we've ingrained in your head. We want this, and this. If you don't do it, you're coming out of the game. And you're going to see that. I was at the game on Friday night, and you go through stretches there where you're like, ooh,
it's ugly.
And then they go through stretches where you're like,
oh my God, they're the best team in the country.
That game starts, you can't miss from 3, or at least Leger Jones can't miss from 3.
But there's a period where,
and you're like, okay. I also think some guys are kind of finding their way within this. Like McCray, stop with the threes, brother. Dribble, penetrate. Let's go ahead and do the thing.
He's here to shoot. He's here to. I mean, he's supposed to shoot.
He's a scorer, but I think how you score.
Anyway, they're going to beat the Gators. They're going to knock off the Gators tonight. Norvell's going to knock off the Gators in a couple of weeks, And then obviously Link is going to beat whoever's the coach of the Florida baseball team.
Sarah and I are going to paint the town after the win tonight.
Hogwatcher asked if is that reindeer antler fur on your jacket?
Velour.
Oh, just velour.
Hey, did somebody give us a tip and you never got to it? I thought I saw that way back.
Somebody asked if you've asked the super chats. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't think you have. You need to hurry up.
I got a rapid fire.
Just
we got 50 seconds. Rafferty pointed out that Stanford. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That was John Mellencamp. Mike got to go, but these players are not holding up their end. Cody, yeah, it's annoying.
That's
Agreed. Jesse J, the only thing Mike is going to hoist is a big fat check.
He is going to do that.
And Two Live, awesome. Ira, quick, 2 Live Hollywood, get to it. I can't see it.
The guy up there is talking about conference championships. What the blank? That's a given. Being at FSU, we talk national championships. He talks like the guy was Mike Norvell.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talk national championships. He talks like a mid-major coach. 7-5 is a mid-major conversation. That's where we're at. No, that. We got you 2 Live Hollywood.
We got you, baby.
Another dissatisfied customer.
By the way, thanks to everybody in that super chat.
Come get some Hokies. Come get some Hokies. You don't want any of this.
Hey, for Corey and Ira, I'm Jeff. Say goodbye, everybody. Bonus hour up next. Stay tuned. Take care.